Well, hello, welcome back. It's time for me to do another foodie prep video. And as I was thinking about whether I wanted to make veggie loaded hash browns or just clean up leftovers for dinner, I also thought it's Friday night and I'm ready to relax. It's been a long week. I'm gonna watch a movie and I have a bunch of avocados that I got in the clearance bin. This whole bag was $1.25. So as I go through here and see what's still good, I thought, hey, budgety guacamole and chips. And I want to show you how I do it. So I just buy the regular corn tortilla chips. I am on a plant-based diet, which is called the starch solution, and it's a little bit different than a standard vegan diet because the starch solution is a whole food, plant-based, oil-free diet. And this helps me to better manage my chronic conditions. I discovered this many years ago when I had went through this crazy health crisis, and I had high cholesterol at the time and heart disease runs in my family. Needless to say, I was at a point where I needed a miracle, and the starch solution gave me that, got me off all sorts of medications. And if you don't know me, my name's Tiffany Anderson. This Aging Well channel is all based on my holistic approach to health and how I am aging well, living independently, traveling, and living my best life in a less intrusive, affordable way. So, and I feel like I dine like a queen, honestly. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. So I have my four in each hand. I have 8 corn tortillas here. And so to make my own tortilla chips, I used to eat lots of chips and salsa. And when I first adopted this meal plan, then I thought, oh my gosh, I'm really going to miss chips. And then once I realized how easy they are to make on my own, they're so much better. I don't miss the greasy fried chips. And so I'm just using a pizza cutter here. I've got the oven on 350. And you can see the cookie sheet. There is nothing on this. I don't even need parchment. So I've just cut these into triangles and gonna stack them out on the cookie sheet. And to flavor them, I actually spray them with lime juice. And so that's gonna give it a little bit of flavor. And what I'm after is tasting the guacamole and or the salsa that I'll be having these with later tonight after I clean up whatever leftover that I'm going to be having for my actual dinner. And this is my post dinner appetizer that I'm going to be having tonight. And tell me in the comments, what are your favorite, if you're plant-based or not, what are your favorite appetizers that you have on movie night? I love popcorn too. Popcorn's another one of my favorites. And if you're thinking, oh, how does she make that without oil? Well, easy peasy. I simply just use a brown paper bag and put the popcorn kernels in there and use masking tape, then tape the bag shut and cook it in the microwave, and it's just fine. Put some sea salt on there. I actually like pickle juice on popcorn sometimes as well. So you can see I've got tons of chips there because I'm going to make a fairly good sized batch of the guacamole depending on the health of these little avocados that were on clearance. This is what I put lime juice in, just a spray bottle that you could get at the dollar store or in the beauty department at the drugstore, these little bottles. So I just spray them with lime juice. You could season them if you like. I've done that before and added like chili powder or cumin, onion powder. You could do all that type of thing. I just like the lime. That's ample flavoring for me, since like I said, I'm after tasting more of the dip than I am the chip itself. I just want that for the crunchy base. And I'm putting that on about 16 minutes, and I'll see how, I don't mind if they're extra brown. That will be ideal. Now guacamole, everybody's got their own favorite recipe. You can get those little packets at the grocery store. When I picked up this bag at the grocery store, I'm always skeptical because I knew there was one in here that it's got kind of those little marks on there that it looks like there's been some little fingers on there that have mashed it too hard as they're feeling around. So this one might be, maybe. We'll see how that goes. These have a pretty good feel to them. And I've got a number of recipes. When you keep avocados in the fridge, they'll stay a lot longer than people realize if you don't have luck with storing produce. That's something that I've learned on a plant-based diet. And I grew up with a lot of family members that owned farms or had large gardens. So we ate a lot of fresh produce when I was a kid. So having the ability to know how to manage foods like that and not letting them spoil was pretty easy, though the whole grocery store, you never know the age of what you're getting at the grocery store, which makes it kind of tricky. Now, I sprayed them with a mixture of water and white vinegar. That's what I keep in a spray bottle, and that is the veggie wash that I use to clean any produce before I'm actually, especially cutting into it, because if I just would have dove in there and, cut the avocado with the knife, then whatever cuties were still sitting on the top then just went inside. Oh, see? So this one, that's in good shape. And the pits are enormous on these. So for me to make what I would consider a helping for myself, since I'm an older adult, I'm aging solo, so yeah, these are massive. Now this one, kind of see the texture of that one. It's lifting away a little bit. It's not overly bruised or anything. I will still eat this one, and the pit came out pretty readily. That one needs a little more encouragement. I think I'm gonna try, yeah, we'll try one more. How do you guys make guacamole? What's your favorite? I'm going to take this one that's got the little mushy finger marks on here and see if it's got any black spots or anything gross. Then that one will just go right in the trash. Everybody's got their own favorite way. Oh, that's not too bad, actually. See, that one looks pretty good. So I will take all of these. So I just scoop out. I love to see how different people make their guacamole, and when I go out to eat, if the restaurants ever offer like the tableside guacamole. And then for me, if I don't, most restaurants don't care anymore. I've taken in my own chips and they don't mind. I will get the steamed corn tortillas and then just eat it like that, or have it on a salad. I don't dine out a lot just because I love my cooking. I love to cook, and I feel like I'm a great cook. So, hey, it's me, it's my money, it's my body. So, I do what's best for me. And that's the joy of being a grown-up. Yes, do you agree? I love being a grown-up. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not breaking any laws. So you do you. So these ones, even this one that's kind of a little squishy around the side, not too bad. So this might make a much bigger helping than I planned on, though. When you use your guacamole within a day or two and put enough citrus on there, I don't encounter any browning. Do you prefer lemon or lime? I've used both. I honestly just prefer the taste of lime. I think that's a much better partner with avocado. So I'm really pleased that I got this many avocados for so little money. I mean, look at all of that. And I still have 3 avocados. So this was 75 cents worth of avocados. And I don't have any fresh lime. Some of you may be appalled. I've just got this type of lime juice here. And yes, I do love fresh lime juice. This was just affordable, economical, and what I had on hand. And just mush, mush, mush. How do you season your guacamole? Do you get the packets that they have at the produce department? Or do you have your own special seasonings and recipes that you like to use? I have sea salt that I like to use. I've seen at the restaurants sometimes cracked pepper, jalapeno, fresh garlic. I've used garlic powder and onion powder. I honestly just don't like the powderiness, and when I'm going to be eating it fresh like this and then saving the extra for like tacos or a bowl or something, I cooked an entire bag of pinto beans the other night, and I hadn't made just fresh plain old beans for a long time. I cook a lot. I eat a lot of lentils, and I love chickpeas. Though the bag of pinto beans, it was like 80 cents or something, and it made this enormous patch of beans, and I thought, oh, I'm an idiot. Why do I not just make fresh beans more often? Because it made so much that I had an enormous Mexi rice bowl last night for dinner. I have about 2 more helpings in the fridge, and then I put 2 large quart-sized bags in the freezer. And so that 80-odd cent bag of beans made me a lot of food. So I'm thinking of, like, you know, families, if you have a lot of people at home, and whether you're plant-based or not, you know, if you want to add whatever meat that you like, or cheese, things like that. Oh, this is an enormous radish. Look at that. This is how I store my radishes. I do clean the radishes, but I don't chop the top off, and then I leave the little root on there. This is something that I learned from a dietitian at a grocery store, to actually just clean the radishes, take off the greenery and everything, of course, though I put a little napkin at the bottom of this little container, and it happens just to be an old sorbet container that I hate to throw things away and waste things. And you know, when I put radishes in like this and I seal it, and radishes will stay good for about 2 weeks storing them this way. There's a lot of different ways that you can store produce and make sure to stretch your dollar. Groceries are so expensive right now. That's why I'm always combing through the bins where they have things on clearance, and I've gotten to know all of the different produce people, the produce managers, and I know exactly which days that they actually put things on discount. I've got it timed pretty well at the Kroger, the Smiths near me, when they put some of the more exotic mushrooms on clearance, and I've fallen in love lately with things like lion's mane. That is a mushroom that, you know, I wouldn't usually see outside of like a Whole Foods or a Trader Joe's or something like that, and Kroger's been carrying them lately, and I wait until they put them on clearance, and I'm getting lion's mane mushrooms for like $1.80 for that's just such a low price, and they are so delicious. They've got such a great texture. Now that one enormous radish, so whoa, and I just threw a lot of it on the counter. How's that? trying to show it to you. So I put that in. I've already put some lime juice. I'm going to continue to put more. And then, of course, to taste. That always helps with the browning and the flavor. Yum, yum, yum. If anyone here doesn't make guacamole often and just buys in the container, then I would love to hear if you're inspired to actually make the effort and see how easy it is to make guacamole, and know that if you're looking at something that has like all sorts of crazy ingredients in it, it's so easy to do that at home. And what I've done now, I have a purple onion that I prefer purple onion in so many dishes, especially when I make veggie loaded hash browns. So I just thinly sliced. I've got two slices of purple onion here. I typically would also mince in some cilantro, though I used up the rest of my cilantro the other day. I made a red lentil dal and I ate the rest of my cilantro. So no harm, no foul. This will still taste delicious, just like this. And I also don't have anything extra spicy. I have put jalapeno in with the guacamole before, though I don't always like that type of a bite. I love the taste of avocados. And to me, if I put too much jalapeno in there, it draws away from the taste of the avocado. So that just doesn't jive with my taste buds. And before I was an empty nester and had other people in my world that I was preparing food for, you know how it is when you've got a lot of people and you're trying to please everybody, how challenging that can be. It's awful nice when you're just making something for yourself and not having to worry about changing the recipe for everyone around. Look at how much guacamole that made. Now I haven't put any salt in there yet, so I'll just go kind of light on that. And like I said, I use a sea salt. There's so many different types of salts out there now. I used to really like the Himalayan pink sea salt, and then I felt like I was over it. And I think this will be, let me give it a try here. Oh, very limey. No, that was just enough salt. So all of this guac, I'll have those chips, and I thought I was going to maybe make the veggie loaded hash browns. I've shown that in another video. That is such an economical meal. So anyone out there, if you're on a tight budget, groceries are really rough right now, that even having a meatless Monday, you can really stretch your budget. Buying meat is so expensive, and even before I switched over to a plant-based diet, we were having a lot of vegetarian meals anyway, just because meat was so expensive. When my son was small and, you know, growing boy and all that type of thing, there's a lot of ways that you can better utilize things or even stretch your meals by adding more plants. If you don't know me, my name's Tiffany. This is my Aging Well channel. Thank you so much. If you've watched this far, I really appreciate it. Give this a thumbs up, a like, and consider checking out some of my other videos. I have a savory oat patty that, if you're intrigued at all and want to see like a mock sausage, I'll put a link to that and see if that's something that you'd be willing to give a try. It's one of my favorite recipes. Have a good evening. Dine well to age well. Bye.